welcome everybody to this episode of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with
Uncle spoke.
uh, Damon Armstrong will be joining us momentarily. Thank you for being with us. If you're watching this in the future, if you're watching this when later on in this live as we start to collect folks, hopefully. But thanks for stopping through. Thanks for all the love, everything that you've given us. Because when we become stars, we ain't gonna forget you. We ain't gonna forget our loyal listeners. You feel what I'm saying? Um, with that being said, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. As I said, I'm your host, Keith Armstrong. Um, do us a favor, go like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel by the same name. On, come on, man. We let us help us to collect bodies on our channel, please. We'd appreciate it. But other than that, welcome. Like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. We've been out. We didn't come on last week, so excuse me if I'm a little rusty. But I still know how to ride a bike, so that smooth part gonna kick in pretty soon. Jaqari, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I don't know how to ride a bike, but that's another story. I'm good, man. It was this weather was just a monster, man. It was a monster that especially in Virginia. You know, they really ain't cut out. The infrastructure really ain't cut out. To handle this kind of stuff like they do back home.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
true.
mean? And this was like extra special fuckery because it was everything was ice. I mean, it
Yeah,
was all ice.
the top layer. So here in Philly, where I am, the top it snowed and got about 10 inches.
Mm.
No, maybe 8 inches. Then the top layer could freeze and rain, so it was a little half an inch of ice. So if you shoveling, if you got a spade, look, let me tell you something. This is this is coming from experts, winter experts. If you're dealing with ice, make sure you got a good spade, a good shovel. One of them spade shovels, make sure you got one of those because it handles the ice perfectly, especially when you get a little bit of sun. It handles it perfectly.
And that's
That's
and
a
that's
little hint.
and
Damon,
that's exactly what I got. What's going on, brother? That's exactly what I got, man. The problem is thing ain't but 3 feet long, so I had a whole lot of bending and stretching, man.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Look, it got to the point, man, where I was ashamed of myself, man. I said, shit. Uh, if my worst enemy wanted to come up and whoop me, wouldn't have been much I could do about it.
yes,
I
sir.
was spent. I was out there for hours, man, chipping away at ice.
I found myself looking around like, should I be this tired?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Damon, how you doing today, brother?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. Just trying to get everything situated like it's supposed to be. Can y'all
You
see
know,
me, man? Am I clear
yeah,
to you?
yeah, yeah. We see you, Andy Cap. Oh, that reference is too old school for you. You hear what I called him? Spoke Andy Cap.
Oh man, he looked dapper, man. Come on, man.
No, no, I ain't saying you look dapper. Yeah, you look dapper, but this is folks who used to read newspapers. See, I used to read newspapers. You know what I mean? The Sunday press come out, and one of my favorite joints was Andy Cap, which that little comic strip promoted domestic violence.
She used to bite. She used to bite that ass, man, for real.
Look,
But my favorite was look, for years, man. I pronounced it wrong, man, and it was somebody finally corrected me, man. I was so ashamed. But Moose Miller, I used to call him Moosey Miller.
Moose Miller. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of my favorites, man. I ain't read the funny papers in a long time, man.
Man,
That's
I used to look. Man, let me tell you something. I don't know if that was just some what they call that stuff, Stone Age shit, man. But I used to look forward to the Sunday press coming through, grabbing up that. Now, I would read. Look, I would read the movie section first,
mm-hmm.
and then I hit because you remember the Detroit Free Press, Detroit Ipsy too,
Yeah,
Ypsilanti Press too had at
and
least
Arbor News.
three pages of comics.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but print media, man, is all but dead. I mean, I defy you to find a comic book lover, in today's generation, who would appreciate putting their hands on a paper comic book.
No, they still out there because I
They're
know.
still out there, but I mean, it ain't nobody but old people buying them.
Look,
These young folks, these are all this shit is online, man,
yeah,
and they're free.
it's not the same though.
It's
See,
not the same, but
that's
they
the thing.
don't know that.
That's the thing when you touch the covers, when you
Mm.
flipping the pages. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's not the
yeah,
same. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the fact that I can type in my favorite Hulk issue, and
yeah.
then you know what I'm saying. But I agree with you, Kawhi. I definitely agree with that. You know what I mean? Um, let's see. Well, let me just do this to Damon. Damon is the perfectionist, so when he gets on, he's gonna be really on. Um, my day was a good day. You know what I mean? We talking about shoveling. I was I did I did the thing where you got to go out there and pre-shovel. See, a real winter guy knows that you got to pre-shovel because it's the difference between having 4 to 5 inches at the time to having 10 to 12 inches you got to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But that's that late front effect stuff. So I went out there, what you said earlier, which was funny. I went out there and did my pre-shoveling, which it was easy snow to push, right? We was in the middle of the blizzard, but it was still easy snow to push. And I was out there, and I said earlier, I found myself looking around like, is everybody else as distressed as I am? then I had to tell myself, man, you 61 years old, man. You better take your time. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah. I got all of 20, 25 feet of sidewalk, man. That son of a bitch gave me hell, boy.
Boy,
If it was a man, it whooped my ass for real. Man, look, I was sweating and shit. And the only thing I could think about, man, was I was watching the Survival Channel, and it was the Bear Grylls and shit. He said, look, in a survival situation in the frozen tundra and shit, you get out there, you got to pace yourself because if you start sweating, you're gonna freeze to death. And I was out there sweating so bad, man. All I was thinking was like, you were dead, man.
Damn.
You about to die out here in front of
yeah.
your house, man. For real, is this how you gonna go out? You punk ass motherfucker. You better shovel the shit out this. Look, I shoveled sparks out the. I shoveled sparks off the sidewalk.
See, there
I did
you
a
go.
hell of a job, man. Then I woke
Yeah,
up
yeah.
that next morning to just bullshit. But
Look,
that's
look.
what.
I'm gonna tell you the funny thing about it is, you said you spoke all about survival, but then you geek yourself up to not survive. Like,
I
so
did.
hey, what
It
what they
was it
say?
was dumb. It
What
was
they
dumb.
say?
Hey,
Them old men used
that,
to say, the heat is in the tools, motherfucker. So get to
He's in the
work.
shovel, son.
hey,
Yes, sir.
just like that guy on Predator, the last guy who got hit, and they were talking about leaving. He said, "I can make it."
I can make it. God damn it. Yeah. Yeah. Look, man. We just had some young boys. We just had some young boys move in a couple down doors down or whatever. So I had I had the big dog for a minute. They ain't get out there. They should still they should still 2 feet deep.
But I'm gonna tell you now, the three of us, we are veteran winter. ice storms, blizzards. We are veterans at this shit. Get yourself a spade, ladies and gentlemen, with a sharp edge, and when it comes to ice, it'll save you so much time. It'll save you so much time, and your back would be beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
You know what else I thought
Hey,
about,
hey,
man?
hey, Damon, you muted.
You know what else I thought about, man, was how growing up in Ipsy or whatever, man. I ain't never have a pair of boots, man. I ain't never have a pair of like winter boots. Cause I ain't think about them. I didn't want them. I always wore gym shoes.
Well,
Goddamn, 3 feet of snow and walking around in doggone sneakers and shit.
I think the closest thing that I came, you were young, Jaquari. Me and Damon got some bro games, man. Our dad, he bought them in the wintertime. Now
No grip.
look, I'm putting them motherfuckers on like shit. I'm getting ready to go shovel the snow. 15 minutes later, I'm like, well, how these military motherfuckers do this? Cause
Yeah,
my
you know
clothes is frozen.
that leather get cold and shit and stiff and wet.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
man, look,
Yeah.
that's gonna kill you. The weather will kill you, man. The
Look
weather
at it,
done kill
man.
the weather done killed several people in Virginia, man.
Yeah, man.
Here's the thing. Here's what killed people, man. It's the heavy snow, and you trying to shovel it, the heavy snow, and then throw it up over your head.
Yeah.
That's causing stress, man. The key is when you know it's coming, you go out there and you shovel the first 3 inches. Wait for a half an hour. Go out there and shovel the next 2 inches. Tomorrow, the next 5, it ain't uh it ain't 8 inches on top of 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta pace yourself, and you just gotta do your due diligence, man. That's all it is. Now,
I
when
just
it's heavy and wet, then you start being stingy and invest in snow blowers and shit.
look, look, we always get that lakefront snow. We always get the heavy snow, man. Back at the crib, always get the heavy snow.
Yeah, because y'all close to the coast, man.
No, I'm
That
talking
that that.
about no, I'm not. I'm talking
Back in
about
Oh, you talking
Michigan.
about in Michigan?
yeah.
Oh well, hell, we between 5 lakes, man. So it's gonna be that. Okay, we're talking about regular snow. We ain't talking about lake effect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a major difference, bro.
Look, I think we went through that trial by fire with that lake effect, that the other stuff, man. Yeah, all right, man. Let's just get this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Look here. I cuss and fuss at my son. He talking about, man, it's snow out there. I say, there ain't nothing but powder, man. You better go out there.
But that always struck me as funny, man. How the person who will never shovel always alert the person who do shovel when they need to start.
Hey, man, it's getting heavy out there. You need
Yeah, like why you care? Why
listen. Listen,
Hey,
we was raised by a construction worker and John Armstrong, cause he gave us the hey, I need to start getting them boots on.
hey,
yeah,
look,
like
look here. I'm just gonna keep it fucking. I'm petty. I go out there and start shoveling and be and bend over and gasping and wheezing and all that stuff. Looking at his window. Looking at his window. And then he'll come outside and be like, Dad, can you please go in the house and sit down? Be done with that shit in 15 minutes. And I'd be like, hey man, you should have led with that.
Yeah,
But it is what it is, man. You know
yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying? It's part of life, bro.
So let's go ahead and get caught up. Damon, how was your day today, brother?
My day was A-okay, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no problems, bro. It was just, I mean, whatever I set out to do, I did it without any stress or strife or any drama, man. I just went through the motions, man. And
Okay,
that was a good day.
cool, man. Cool. Um, I think this is the first time in a long time all three of us felt the effects of a blizzard, man. This is old school stuff like here, man. You know what I'm saying? All across, you know what I mean? Like across the whole Midwest to the East Coast. Everybody got it. You know?
You know what's crazy, man? When you out there simply just cleaning off your car, man, because you didn't have about 5 inches, and it's like -2 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Your mind, from old school people, your mind automatically go to, man, I'm freezing my ass off. As soon as I'm finished cleaning up this comic, jump in because it's heated. It's been running for 5, 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? You automatically go to that. So you're
Mhm.
not really going through the stresses of it, you know. And
Right.
plus nowadays everybody got them heated steering wheels. You ain't gotta run your hands on the warm water.
Yeah.
That
And
start
remote
itching and all.
starters, yo, like
Yeah.
a couple of
Yeah.
years back, man, in the state of Maryland, bro, people, it was against the law to remote start your car in the wintertime because people was hopping in them and stealing them some kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, if you remote started, your vehicle only goes so far though, man. It'll
It
shut
run
off.
about
Yeah, well, but
it
if
run
if
about
you
15 minutes.
if your profession is car thievery, that's not an obstacle for you.
Yeah, but if you see eyes peeking outside and it's a shillelagh laying on next to the car, you know what I'm saying?
I want the motherfuckers is expensive, man. You know that?
Hey, what?
Or shillelagh.
Yeah. Hey, Spoke, they see a shillelagh on the side of your car. That to a car thief, that's a
Mhm.
setup.
Yeah,
What the hell is a shillelagh, man? Is this a new
it's an
gadget?
Irish fighting stick.
Yeah, I know that, but what's the reference of laying it beside your car?
You carry somebody dome in.
Uh,
Shit. Touch
Hey
my shit
man.
if you want to. You hear me?
yeah, yeah.
Hey, Spoke, go ahead.
Yeah. I'll beat your shit, you fucker. I'll beat your shit.
There's a setup back here. Why they leaving that stick on the side of the car? Go ahead and touch it. You will find out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. And that make you wish. Some miracle just took guns away, man. Because I read an interesting fact the other day, fellas. It said that 90 was it 90
Keith Armstrong, Lil Keith, or 6 others.
90 96 97% of the world's population don't know how to fight, ain't never been in a fight, but they tough. So somebody, that's been through the fire a couple of times, pretty much run through, the average joke.
Yeah.
Hey, look
It's
here.
I,
it's,
know,
it's,
I,
it's,
think, I
it's
think
people
it's
who,
always been. I think it's always been like that, man.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
remember when the old man we used to kick our ass and shit? He said, "Son, just learn the skill, man. You won't lose. You'll never lose. Just learn the skill. Striking."
It's muscle memory, man, and just
Keith Barnes said. Keith Barnes said my brother had a Nissan Maxima when he first moved to Detroit, and he told me his car froze to death. The engine froze and literally locked. Hey, look, you bring it from North Carolina, and North Carolina cars ain't used to that. That's what's gonna happen.
It's just like moving out west. Emissions. In the mountainous areas,
Yeah,
emissions, man. It's all about adjustment. That's all.
yeah. So before I start putting things on the board, man, yeah, this current events type of things, right? This in a nutshell. We don't really got to get into nuances of it, but I didn't get a chance to really on this platform, ask you guys about it. But our homeboy Anton Daniels, right, and Corey Holcomb. Like I said, you don't have to go into it in depth because it's a week or so old and all of that, and it's been talked to death. But your opinion, what's your opinion about it? I'll go first. Both of them, and I like Corey Holcomb's comedy, like on the stage comedy. His platform, oh, he's a mean one, so to speak. He go after people, and he says whatever he wants to say, right? Anton is about the same. He calls himself and I'm just this in nutshell, calls himself a conservative, and he has these Christian values and whatever. Corey got Christian values too, but that's what it was. So I'm figuring they gonna come on, and they're gonna go back and forth with it, right? And it just goes to show when you put yourself in position to be the attack dog and shit, right? Shit comes back to you on both sides. Like what I'm referring to was, and people, and I found it funny how people said, well, he won. Well, he won because of this, or he won because of that. Now, the only problem I had is, and I'm gonna speak plainly, then I'm gonna let you go. That little small part when Corey said, "Hey, you kissing the white man's anus," right? And then he jumps from 1 degree of a debate and sort of a disrespect. You can feel like you're being disrespect to the umpteenth joint when Anton said you sucking the pipe of black people. And y'all know me. I'm a fighter, but if I can resolve it through just a little conversation, to check somebody verbally, you know what I mean? If I got to check you verbally before I escalate, y'all know I'm going to go to that, right? Can we agree on that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when homeboy said that, and he is our homeboy, but when he said that, I looked at my son. We both looked at each other like, what? I said, son, had that man said that to me, had nothing to do with the platform he was on. Had he said that to me, I would have walked right over him and punched him in his mouth. And then we got into a discussion of why I would punch him in the mouth. Because he said, well, Corey disrespected him first. I said, there's different degrees of disrespect, son. Anton questioned his manhood.
A lot of people say that there's not.
But that's my point, though. But those people to me ain't no fighters. Because there's different degrees. You know what I'm saying?
Would you say most people what?
Well, I made my point, Jacor, but go ahead.
No, I didn't say that. Keith said that. But I mean, just let me start by saying, at 53 years old, there's very few scenarios that I can see myself getting into a physical altercation with anybody or anything, something like that, or what have you, whatever. But when Corey Holcomb stood up or whatever, for me the conversation ended.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that the whoop Corey. I thought he was going to go start fighting.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to go start fighting. You know what I mean? And I think it for Corey Holcomb being the person who he's put out over his platform or whatever, for him to sit down and continue the conversation, I think that was kind of big. I think it was kind of huge. Because I heard people say that he was scared. That man was not afraid.
No, he wasn't scared.
That man was not afraid.
Now, let me just say this. When he sat down, you remember what he said.
You
He
say it
said,
again.
say it again.
Say it again. It's gonna happen
Yeah.
because I mean, a lot of people, you know, and I haven't heard anybody mention it, but Corey, he's had a fight on this shit before. He's had a fight on his shit before, and it cost him fucking thousands.
Yeah. Yeah.
It cost him thousands. So I mean, in this case, you know, I think you know he erred on the side of cooler heads and everything, and things worked out for him. But you know, homeboy, dude, the other guy, I mean, you know, I don't know. I didn't respect it. I just didn't respect it.
Here's how I feel. To be honest with y'all, man. My man said, "Well, you said something that offended me." You know, but in your situation, trying to up me, you really went there.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You really went there because you was trying. You know, no matter how I made you feel, you was trying to up me, and you really triggered a situation that. I mean, you could tell somebody, man, you ain't do nothing but kissing ass. Most people ain't gonna fight in that situation.
Yeah.
They not. They can be like, man, I don't kiss no ass. What? Well, you talking about? Well, you sucking this and that. Come on, dude. That's a whole nother situation. That's a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? And it was purposefully said.
Oh, it
It
was.
was. You know what I'm saying? And if you're thinking about, okay, what is this going to cost me? You don't cover that ground either. You know what I'm saying? Because when Corey got up and sat down in front of a man, first of all, that let me know my man wasn't about fighting and shit. He was just about triggering him and arguing and all that. So he wasn't about that. He wasn't about that.
Yeah.
But if I was him, if I was Anton, and my man came that close, I can't trust what the hell he finna do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when he told old girl to move and he started adjusting to the chair, I'm in defensive stand now. You know what I'm saying? So to me, all the talking, man, you don't watch. Look here, man. You don't watch no man who feel threatened by you or offended by you cover ground towards you, and you just sitting there. That was the craziest thing in the world. I'm like, man, he about to. I said, if Corey just decided to go up, because Corey ain't no small man, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What if Corey said, what if Corey had the mindset, I just want to get close to him? You feel me? I just want to get close to him. And my man just sitting there, he had no intentions on scrapping like that. He wanted to be argumentative and talk and one up each other verbally. He wasn't about no physical shit. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, and this is the last one, like I said, I am anybody that I see that's approaching that I think, oh, they're offended by what I'm saying, you're not getting that close to me, man.
You're right.
You're not getting that close to me. I'm moving stuff out the way in case it's about, it's about that. You don't sit up there and jostle back and forth, talk about, well, you offended me. Come on, man. Because in the real world, cats stand around and talk about, man, these brothers ain't really trying to fight each other.
No, but I understood that as soon as they sat down, but see, Corey handled it in a way that he could back up out of it. Like, yo, say it again. Say it again. My man never said it again. But really and truly, as soon as Corey sat down and put the mic to his face and said, say that again, I knew Corey didn't want to fight him. He didn't want to fight him. You know what I'm saying?
They trying to try to outdo and outthink each other. But man, come on, man. In the real world, in the streets, it don't go down like that, man.
No,
Especially if somebody approaching you and say it again, they're coming with bad intentions, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't no talking and all that stuff. There's plenty of people in the graveyard, man, for more lesser shit than that, minor shit than that.
Look.
So
You
it
got-
was all. So was it theater?
Yeah,
I mean, you know.
I think so. I don't think it was. coordinated theater. I think they both, you know, did it so they could get views, but I don't think they did it in the sense like, yo, this is what we're gonna do, and this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? You know, they both tried to manipulate the situation.
It wasn't.
And
It
then
wasn't.
Keith
It
Jacory.
wasn't collaborative.
Yeah.
And Keith Jacory, if you look through the whole the whole interview, Anton apologized to him.
That was a forced apology though.
But
You
it
know,
was
if
said
I, if
though.
I offended you, you know, he said that in a snide way. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, y'all know I'm a brawler, right? If I'm pushed to do it. But y'all both know I look for peace with it. You know what I'm saying? So I understood within that little 5 to 10 minute span that neither one of them wasn't gonna do nothing. You feel what I'm saying? But when I told my son that was sort of a lesson. Like I wanted to emphasize to him, not because I was some kind of tough guy, but that man stepped on. I felt like if he would have said it to me, he was trying to step on my manhood, and that, whether it was right or wrong. Now, let me really and truly emphasize that. Whether I was right or wrong, I would have put hands on him, because that, from that extreme, from that to that, you know what I'm saying? And then you was a matter of fact about it. It did something to my peaceful nature. It did something. It brought out violence in my energy, man.
Right, bro. And that's why I'm sticking on. Man, you don't close the gap if you ain't about that, bro.
And now that's the truth. That's the
You know what
truth.
I'm saying? You don't
Me and
close
my-
the gap unless you think, okay, this is gonna be my first move when I get there.
Yeah, and you know, and that's the thing, is like me and my oldest son was debating with dad. He didn't do nothing when he got there. I get it. I understand that. But it wasn't like my man doubled down when he got there. No, he was backpedaling. You know what I'm saying? So
But see, my whole point is, for me, when he got there and he sat down, I finished watching the interview, but I just tuned everything. I tuned all the words out at that point.
yeah.
Right.
I didn't care because I was disappointed. I guess I don't know. Because with today's social media or whatever, man. I mean, people are gonna fight.
Right.
People are gonna fight. I mean, you know, they wouldn't let him fight on Maury. You know, the only daytime show they let him fight on was Jerry Springer, right?
You know, YouTube is not going to allow them, because especially them guys who got a lot of followers and actually making a monthly salary, a nice monthly salary. YouTube will kick them to the curb. And
No.
yeah, oh, I'm wrong. Yes.
They still got bad girl content on the net.
That's clips. That's different clips. I'm talking about when it's your channel, your specific channel, right?
Mm.
If it is too offensive and somebody reports you too, see, that's another thing. They will kick your shit to the curb, man. YouTube, and especially if you're making some bread on YouTube, you know. Well, let's shift it just a little bit.
Well,
I don't know what.
Here's the thing. And
All right,
this is good.
All right, damn it. I want you to finish up, then we're going to shift it a little bit. But go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
Here's the thing. If you want to know what true life really is, remember when man was saying some shit about Will Smith's wife?
Uh-huh.
And he walked up there smiling and had his stroll on. As soon as he got up to Chris Rock, what did he do? He smacked the shit out of him.
Smack
I'm
the
saying.
shit out of him.
If it is.
Yeah.
He's working.
I mean, if you truly think about it, that's how real life is. And then when you saw him smack Chris, did he turn his back the first time when he first smacked? Did he turn his back, or did he keep his eye on Chris?
He turned his
You know
back.
what I'm saying?
He turned his back and pimped off back to his seat. I'm gonna tell Damon when he comes back. I'm just shifting off. I saw something. I don't know how this slipped past me, but Netflix got podcasters on it now. You know what I'm saying?
I never noticed that.
Yeah, it just
But
started. But
hey,
Was it
after,
like Mr.
after he
Beast?
smacked,
yeah, hold on. What'd you say, Damon?
after he smacked Chris, and he went down and he went and sat down. Then he started doing what Corey and Anton was doing, going back and forth.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
But basically, he just pissed on his shoe when he sat down. You know what I'm saying? Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. You know, that type of thing. So Damon, when you blinked out, I don't know how this slipped past me, but Netflix got podcasters on it now. Right? It's the main podcasting folks, white and black. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, Netflix is trying to corner the market on everything. Now, when I'll get afraid is when they got a porn site.
I wouldn't doubt if it wasn't in the works.
Hey, Damon, that's when I'll get nervous when they got a porn section on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Because Netflix trying to corner the market, bro, on all visual entertainment.
Everybody want to talk shit about Tubi and Tubi movies and everything. Netflix, they the ones who started doing that shit.
Yeah, you're right, Lawrence. It was too much at stake. But my contention is Anton, whether you like him or not, Anton will stoke that fire and won't bust a grape. That's my opinion. Now, he might be the greatest MMA fighter in the world, but just by his attitude and what he about, well, he'll demean people. See, that's the type of guy that was either bullied or was the quiet guy in school. Because now, his rhetoric is he demeans people's pockets, he demeans people how they look. You know what I'm saying? He demeans them, period. And a lot of times it's not warranted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with him. Outside.
But here and there, he conservative. My wife, I'm a Christian. I got a Christian values. My wife is subservient to me. I mean, that thing, and he does the little circuit where they have the pro women, pro men, and just going back and forth, and he contributes to that. You know what I mean?
So in that regard, him and Corey Holcomb, they kind of align on certain shit, right?
Sometimes. You know how Corey be going off on people, on young ladies and stuff like that, whether it's right or wrong, how he be going off on them. Anton does the same thing. But see, Corey, and then what's so funny is that this was really tripped me out. Deon Cole, the comedian Deon Cole, got his own little podcasting joint, right? He had Corey Holcomb on there. And if you've never seen the 5150 show, you would have thought that Corey Holcomb was one of the funniest human beings. Do yourself a favor. Go to YouTube, guys, and punch in Deon Cole's joint. Man, I'm going to tell you, I laughed. Me and Deon laughed for that whole hour because he was just talking nonstop. He ain't criticized nobody. It was just all comedy. It was all comedy. I'm like, damn, if this dude was like this, you know what I'm saying? But, I think he likes to be on the outside of things, bro.
Yeah, his embrace of nature makes him money. So I don't like a lot of people who get on here and fall left to center that way, man, I don't think that their personality is really like that.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, they you know tapped into tapped into the pulse or something, and they riding the wave. I get it, totally get it.
All right. Well,
You know,
we got a lot of stuff that we can get into today, guys. And the first one I'm gonna put on the bottom screen. The first one I want to put up there. First one I want to put up there is pretty funny, but I think it's a good one. And I think it's a lot that I'm gonna wait for Damon to come back, Jaquar, but it's a lot to embrace and to avoid and to get into. If
I
you and
mean,
your wife or girlfriend are beefing, do you call a timeout to solve a problem that you need that you're having? Like I saw this on Joe Budden podcast. So do you call a timeout even though you and her are beefing?
mm,
Do you call a timeout if a problem that you need solved? Do you call a timeout of the truth with your wife, or do you just thug it out?
nah,
Well,
I
hold. Let me read this first. Damon, this first topic, it said, if you and your wife or girlfriend are beefing, do you call a timeout if a problem you need to get solved and she's the only one who'll be able to do it, right? Or do you just thug it out and try to solve it yourself?
I don't want it to be ongoing, man. So we got to come to some type of resolution, bro. Real
So,
talk. We can even if we just simply agree to disagree. I'm with that.
yeah.
okay.
Look, I hold up my end mad the majority of the time. So shit, call a truce. Take care of the business. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know. Yeah, they, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, no,
Look, I found it funny because I seen myself when I was younger do that. Like I'll sit there and need to get this done, and all I got to do is say something to her. But we beefing. You know what I'm saying? We beefing, and it take me a minute. I try to thug it out. I really do. You know what I mean? But then I hit the Bernie Mac. You be bullshitting. You be bullshitting. Can you help me out? You know what I'm saying?
to be honest, that ain't never been an issue with us. It ain't never been an issue with us. I mean, even if we was beefing, we always made sure shit that we needed to take care of was taken care of.
Yeah, yeah, I get it.
And,
Lawrence,
and, and
Lawrence,
sometimes,
Lawrence, who are you talking about? A lot of what he says upset the so-called culture because he calls out a lot of the nonsense. Who are you talking about, Lawrence? Put in the comment. Go ahead, Danny. You were gonna say something, Danny?
no, I was saying was that every now and then, man, when you not willing, sometimes people just not willing to compromise, man, for whatever reason,
Yeah, of course, of course.
you know.
But I'm
And
thinking of more of a lighthearted sense of it more than anything, bro. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
in that situation, where you entitled to your opinion. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree and still respect each other.
Hmm. Hey, hey,
When it start getting personal, then it becomes something else.
yeah.
Because it any clarifying points, man? Because I'm thinking like, we beefing or whatever, so you ain't gonna pay my car payment for me
That's what I'm talking
for
about.
real,
We on
for
that.
real.
We on that type of time. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
nah, no, man. Look, that'll get a motherfucker left.
saying?
Fuck that. No, take care of
so,
the business. Take care of
so,
the
so,
business, man. I
look,
mean,
the small thing. So you ain't cooking tonight? You know what I'm saying? Fuck, you ain't cooked in 3 days.
Shit.
You
Well,
know.
man, yeah, I don't have an expectation for my wife to cook every day, man. You know, I just,
Yeah.
we as a matter of fact, that's one of our more frequent arguments, man. Because whenever she asks me what I want to eat, I tell her, man, my daddy ate. I ain't never heard my daddy ask my mama ask my daddy what he wanted. She just cooked.
Yeah.
And then he
And whatever.
said, then he sat on the sideline talking about looking at her while he eating what she cooking. He said, "How come you don't never eat what you cook us?"
Why are you always eating
Yeah.
6 slice bologna sandwich?
I think you're poisoning us. If you want to know the truth,
I miss that, man. That thick cut Eckrich bologna.
Look, I
man,
still get it, man, when I see it in the market. I do.
They
that's
still
too
sell
salty
Eckrich.
for me, man.
They still sell Eckrich.
No, what's the Oscar Mayer? That's the ones
Nah,
I
I
get.
don't fuck with that shit.
Yeah, but you got to get beef, man, because the other ones is you read the package is chicken, duck, porcupine. You know what I'm saying?
Coon,
Yeah,
raccoon, and
yeah.
But if you
and
look,
buzzard.
if you eat the beef hot dog, that ain't nothing but nipples and eyebrows and shit.
But it's beef. Shit.
No, the only time I saw a damn eyebrow in something I was eating was goddamn or hog head cheese.
Man, that's crazy. But that
Look,
must have been a human because pigs ain't got no eyebrows, boy.
uh, I seen the eyebrow in my goddamn chili dog at Abe's and shit, Abe's Coney Island. And I was halfway through it. And I was like, "Spoke, you might as well finish the motherfucker." But that's back when I was fat though. I got standards now. I wouldn't. Yeah, like I get mad and demand some shit.
How dare y'all?
Yeah, but back then I was like,
Yeah.
shit, this shit ain't nothing but in the way.
Hey, I find some foreign shit in my goddamn food at a restaurant. I'm gonna deal with that shit for the next 15 years. Y'all got to compensate me.
Yeah.
You gotta set out a court and all that shit because I'm gonna be dealing with this for the rest of my life.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. It crossed my. I'm looking at Lawrence's statement about Anton, right? It is easy. This is my opinion now, and it's cool for you to disagree with me. It is easy for somebody to take and point at what everybody's doing wrong, but you're one of the biggest perpetrators in doing it. You feel what I'm saying? Like some folks have this style. Look at me. This is how I did this. This is how I got here, and I seen this and do this. Then you look at other folks who don't have it that way. You're dirty. You're this. You're that. You're this. You're that. You down. What you do is you promote criticizing the culture, us as people.
Vitriolic criticism, man, is useful as masturbation,
And
especially when you don't have any solutions.
and you know what? That's a good point. But you know what's so crazy about it is, what I think is what it does, because I've been young. When I was younger, I was in this. When a man or woman is speaking to your pain, on the positive and the negative sense, when a man and woman is speaking on your pain, that you went through something that they speaking on, you kind of like on it, like, yeah. Then they slip in. Now we need to go cut their throats and then you're like, yeah. Whoa, wait a minute, what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like they rope you in, they're speaking to your pain, right? Not trying to give you no solution, just speaking to your pain. And then they like, yo, you know what we should do? We should go down there and firebomb them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know what's crazy about that, bro? when I'm thinking about my personal pain, and I recognize somebody recognizes it, how they conduct themselves after that recognition. Most times I'll be like, I would have never said that shit, or I would have never came to that conclusion. Damn, I would have never exposed my personal business like that in the first place.
Yeah.
So I'm never on total board with any damn body. It's like that. That's my own personal shit. You know what I'm saying? What if you reconcile whoever you beefing with? What if you reconcile with them, and y'all come to a consensus with each other to respect each other? Well, you didn't put off some shit that you can never take back, man.
That's the human. That's the human way. That's what they do. You know what I mean? That's what we do. I'm gonna say we because we belong to this country, right? And I'm not talking about we like I'm taking responsibility for it. What I'm saying is, a lot of times, all right, I'll give you a perfect example. Let me read what Lawrence said. The problem is though, what culture he said? What culture is he talking about? Because what we see today is not what we were taught. So what is the culture? You know what I mean? So any thoughts on that?
There's black culture, and then there's like the amalgam of black culture and American European culture. It's a whole different thing. I mean, we wear so many hats, man. When I first heard the definition of code switching, man, I thought it was I thought it was a bad thing. But I mean, I don't know a black man who ain't expert at code switching.
I mean, look, that's just being having good home training, being a good businessman, being a good quote unquote citizen of the universe.
The world,
yeah. What do you think, Damon?
I think it's when it comes to code switching in terms of black people, I think it's keeping them on their back heels. You don't even know what the hell going on, man. You know what I'm saying? We didn't move past you while in your insecurity. You want to show how you superior. We didn't move past you. You know what I'm saying? You recognize.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We dealing with something else, something that's going to matter to us as a collective. You sitting around talking about, hey man, look at me, I'm superior. No, you're not. Because if you have to make that statement, then your insecurities don't allow you to see past that. Your benefits. You don't even see it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is defensive to a certain degree because it's hard to trust everybody.
Yeah.
But when you bring in racism and colorism and all that stuff, you don't have the capacity to move beyond your insecurities or your inadequacies. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the capacity to do that. So you're just being argumentative because.
Tell me, as in terms of what Lawrence's statement, he said talking about culture. What is basically where he asking what do you think today's culture is?
In terms of black people, the culture is American. We Americans. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the culture of the United States of America, we dictated most of it in the first place because they follow our lead. You know what I'm saying? Our culture, who we are as black people, is grounded in the soil of this country because everybody follow our lead. They steal it. You know what I'm saying? They try to knock it down. They do everything they can for us not to get the recognition, but it is the ultimate definition of it. We black people in this country are Americans. Everybody else follow our lead. That's what it is. We are survivors. We overcome stuff. You know what I'm saying? We lay out the blueprint. We fight and die for things. Civil rights. When we fought for civil rights, that was for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
William Person Jr.
the sad part about it is because we were at the forefront of it, we didn't get most of the we didn't benefit mostly from it when we were leading it. But people on the sideline talking about, well, why do I have to respect them? You have to respect us because you following our culture. You benefit from us. You didn't fight for it. You fought. You know. You felt in. They talk about black people are entitled. If you look at it from an inception, if you look at it in its true definition, who, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just think about that for a minute. You know what I'm saying? They say, oh, you trying to get something for nothing. Really? Y'all raised families. Y'all got equal rights. You got all that stuff for something that you didn't fight for. You just thought you was entitled to it. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy part about it is that we say, well, you're being racist. No, I'm not. It's reverse racism. Why everything that is set in stone and that's in place that you are actually doing, you want to use reverse psychology about this shit? Why is that? When you and your household is benefiting from it.
Because it's all they have, man. And I've had
Jealous.
conversations with I've had conversations with people, man, who will tell you that, okay, yeah, blacks may have started the civil rights movement, blacks may have started that movement, blacks may have started this movement or whatever, but you're an American, right? Yeah, I'm an American. Well, you did what you did to further the American cause, not just the black cause. But they don't understand the duality of that situation. When all of these things are established, for American benefit or whatever, and you still have a large section of people who still get shat on regularly. Of course they want some individual shit. Of course they do. Of course we do.
Yeah,
And you know the craziest statement that hey man, we have black fatigue. Really?
all that is this guilt, man. Look,
Did you really just what they call it appropriate somebody else's struggle?
listen, man.
Did you really just do that?
Look, let me just offer this word. This is how I see it myself, right? The civil rights movement was founded because everyone else had civil rights. They were treated that way. We had to protest. We had to sit in. We had to do these things to achieve them. See, this is where people get it fucked up at. Everything that we've done is because everyone else had it. And we've been here just as long as them and probably longer than other folks. You feel what I'm saying?
Keith, other than white Anglo,
even if they didn't have it, man, we were the national distraction. So even if they didn't have it, they weren't pressed for it because we was getting kicked in the ass.
Here's the thing. Other than us and the Native Americans, who's been here before us other than the Anglo-Saxons?
Yeah, and you have a point.
Everybody else came in afterwards, bro.
But see, here's the thing though. Do we get to the point? Because I believe exactly what you said. You make a great point. But what difference does it make if I got to explain that to you? I'm going to live it first. Then you have a conversation and you want to talk to me about it. We'll talk about it like, yo, I'm going to tell you just how ludicrous you sound. Bringing out terms like black fatigue and this and that. Man, get the fuck. First of all, shut the fuck up with that. Why I say that? It's because when we talk about Anton, we talk about Corey, and we talk about other folks who be on the small percentage of people that we watch, like our YouTube channel, or we're in a small. This is a small percentage of people, right? Folks make a choice to do and say the extreme thing. So when a black man, that's why when Lauren said something about Anton speaks, the truth, he don't hold back with what he sees. You couldn't have seen that. When the majority of us get up and go to work every fucking day, we may not be as rich as the other communities, but the majority, the vast majority of us get up and go to work every day. And the folks who don't get up and go to work every day, they trying to make a way. You understand? But guess what? That's happening is you throw the narrative because you want to look like you ain't shitting on people. And I'm speaking, the spectrum. You want to look like you ain't shitting on people. Like, oh, look at them. Oh, they get the same opportunity we got. No, the fuck, no. Education-wise, it's harder to get education. It's harder to get those kind of jobs. Now,
you want to know? I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
The point I'm trying to make is this: I'm not going to drink the water of laptops, television, newspapers, radio news, whatever the fuck, right? I'm not going to drink that water. You want to know why? Because they are promoting a narrative. But if you look at your life, if you walk out your door, and especially if you're living in the area, because there's different streets and different neighborhoods, black and white, where you ain't got no business being on. If you live on that block, understand it when you say, hey man, I don't see no future. Because you live there. But the rest of us live over here, and you don't define yourself in our community. You don't define yourself as what you see every day. You define yourself as what people throw at you. Got on the soapbox, but had to throw my freaking opinion out there because the shit is ridiculous. The shit is ridiculous. Well, our younger folks now, they want our younger folks, and our younger folks too want to do it, feed into the narrative. Well, young folks is lazy. Young folks don't want to listen. Young folks are this. No, they found an easier way to do things than we did. Isn't that how we raise our children anyway? To make an easier way for themselves? To be better?
Look, ever since I've been in the work world, man, people have been telling me to work smarter, not harder. And I failed to learn what the fuck they meant. Now, whenever I'm talking to a young boy, a young lady, whatever, and they tell me a better way to do something that I've been doing, I've been having difficulty with for a long time, I'm gonna eat that information. I'd be a fool not to.
Here's what they struggle to understand. When my man got it rolled and he started taking over stuff, he laid off 300 to 400,000 black women working for the federal government, right? Ain't been no damn ain't been no riots, there ain't been no protests, ain't been none of that. You know what I'm saying? A good percentage of those women who lost their jobs, guess what they did? They started businesses. You know what I'm saying? They started supporting each other. Because the one thing that they don't want the one thing that they can't accept in their insecurities is that happens all the time. We know how to make the adjustments to it and still survive. That's what y'all don't know how to do. You understand what I'm saying? You thought that was gonna devastate us? No, what that did was just embolden us. Okay, now this is what we're gonna do. And then we started sharing information, and we started, you know what I'm saying, working with each other. People who were enemies work with each other. Now you ain't heard anything, and you still gonna have to depend. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, you know, other than the civil rights movement, what we're doing now, what we're doing now is how we consolidating with each other, saying, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna stay out the fray." Because what the one thing they would you see what ICE is doing to white people, shooting them, all that. Just imagine if black people were out there protesting, what they would be doing.
They've been doing it, brother. That's what I'm saying. That's the funny thing about it. They say, imagine if it was happening to black people. In some places, for years, for decades, that's happened to black people. Man.
That's what I'm saying. Now, that's my whole point. Now it's happening to other people, and we said, see what's going on? This was been happening to us for centuries. Now y'all experiencing it. You know what I'm saying? Now it's okay. Now you see. You know what happened to that guy in Minnesota? How many? Keith, who was I talking to you the other day? Today. I said, remember that brother was in the park and he was running from the police and he got shot in the back 8 times. Yeah, my man went to jail, but just think what his mindset is. Oh, he running away from me. I could kill this person.
Yeah,
that has been our experience. Now we're seeing it happening to other people, and it's like, hey man, we've been trying to tell y'all.
I mean, they heard it. They just didn't give a fuck because of
Right.
That's all. And I'm not trying to be callous when I say that. It's the truth. When it doesn't affect you, it's easy for you to look away from it. You know what I'm saying? So I put on the next thing on the screen. And I wanted to get both you and Damon's thoughts on this, Corey. I've been hearing it go around, going around that, and I don't know if it's propaganda. I don't know if it's just somebody made it up, some internet shit. But they said, there's thoughts about us having to show proof that we are American citizens in the future. Do you see that as a positive or a negative? And I'm not trying to load the question, but just what?
I mean, that's that's police state tactics. I mean, you
don't we got driver's licenses?
Yeah. Shit. I can name. At one point in time, I can name all five of the Temptations, motherfucker. What is that going to prove? When you stop me from going about the business of my day, just to check and see if I'm an American citizen, and then what's going to happen after I prove that I am?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to want to know why you stopped me. Just because you feel like you have the authority to. Okay.
9 times out of 10, former law enforcement officer, yeah. As silly and crazy as it sounds, yeah, if you are being detained because that person feels that they have the authority to detain you.
And that's all they need.
But see, that's the thing about it. No, they need more than that.
Right.
But see, you know how you do the fucking Cliff Notes? Remember when you had to in high school you had to read Hamlet, and people gave you the trick to it is to go get the Cliff Notes from the library. Well, a lot of police officers only get the Cliff Notes. You know what I mean? Because there is checks and balances of what you're going to do and how you're supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, I read Hamlet. I didn't get no clip. We ain't had nobody for that shit.
No, you can check it out the library, man. The yellow book, Cliff Notes.
I ain't going to no damn library and see what shit. What the fuck? I went up in there to faggot pop. But other than that,
But
it's. I mean, it's a wild thing, man. It's a wild thing. But you know, now I've developed a mindset to where I'm not really surprised. You know, what might happen.
do you think it's knee jerk and fear for them to even come up with that idea of doing that?
I think it's somebody's brainchild in regards to adding us to the fray.
Yeah,
Because I mean, you know, since these I call them governmental protests, you know, started, you know, when dude took office again. I mean, you know, black people have been saying, all right, we're going to sit back and see what you guys are going to do. And how many events in the last 2 years has it seemed like have been directly pointed at the black community in order to provoke us?
yeah,
As extreme as fucking proof of American citizenship, sounds or whatever. It wouldn't put. I wouldn't put it past them for that vote to get very, you know, really far.
I think, and I think what it does is it plays on the so-called majority's fears. You know what I'm saying? See, what I feel right now, the reason why the president has gotten away with a lot of stuff he's done, because really and truly what he's done and stepped on, not getting political, is stepped on everyone's rights. But the reason why nobody's really saying anything, because the majority, he's playing to the majority's fear of losing power. So-called power that they think they have. They don't. You have no power, man. But you follow the leader. It's the sheep thing. Right?
I gotta give you a little pushback, Keith, because as bad as MAGA is, man, at this point, I think they're afraid of what else will happen to them. Because he has fucked those people, fucked them bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Everything that's happening, you know, with everything that's happening to people with melanin in their skin was expected. This unexpected shit that they running into.
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, you know, they shit. Bring back public lynching as long as y'all don't fuck with us.
You know what's crazy to me, man? All three of us, college educated, we done raised kids who are educated and all that stuff, right? How many programs and rooms and situations we are sit in with our white counterparts, and they're going through the exact shit we going through. Same struggles, taking out the same loans,
Yep.
mortgaging the same houses and all that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And as you communicate with them, they're saying, man, I had to do the same thing. Man, I think I'm gonna be in debt for the rest of my life. Man, I can't. You know what? I got to work 2 jobs just to make sure my kids can get half of what we have. All these different things. You know what I'm saying? The room is multicolored. Everybody did what they had to do, going through the same struggles. And you mean to tell me, how the hell do you come to a conclusion that, well, as long as I'm doing better than this person who's struggling the same way I am, I feel like a whole American human being? Tell me where the hell that makes sense, man.
Man, that's like the scenario when you on the track running or whatever, and you there's a pile of people in front of you, and an old guy that's running neck and neck with you, but as soon as you get towards the finish line, he do everything he can to beat you as long as he not last.
Yeah, yeah. But you see, that's the whole point, though. What that scenario, what you just described, Damon, has always been in place. But because people, those folks start to become affected, right? Now they noticing, hey man, we all got the same struggles, the same bills. We got everything in the same way. So it brings out jealousy. It brings out some of everything. You feel what I'm saying?
But then you got to take it to the account of the section of that population that don't give a fuck if they getting shitted on.
Like,
They,
and
they, they,
those
they,
people exist. They
yeah,
exist.
yeah, nigga, all niggas burn. What the, for real? How can you be a Caucasian person living in freaking Idaho or Montana and never have interacted with a black person and be racist? How does that happen?
Yeah, yeah.
They white people, y'all need black people, man. Y'all need black people in your lives. You need black
Yeah,
friends. Y'all need black friends, man.
Silly, man.
that's it.
Seriously.
Hey,
White people need black
hey,
friends, man.
hey, Spoke,
Yeah.
to piggyback on what you're saying, Spoke, if they was to take all the minorities out of this country, right? If they was to take all the minorities out of this country, and this is nothing that I'm espousing, this is what I'm hearing hearing these people say. You used to take all the minorities out of this country. Would we still be? Would this country still be a superpower?
Look, bro. Look. As long as the motherfuckers got nuclear bombs, they're gonna be a superpower. You know what I'm
That
saying?
ain't. Yeah, but what about tech? What about technology?
You know we losing in that.
What about?
When you outsource everything to the Indian community, then you know they outsourcing the tech too, though. You know that, right?
But the Indians wouldn't be here without us protesting during the '60s.
But see,
Everything worked hand in hand, bro.
bro, listen.
Everything worked
I
hand in
don't.
hand. It
I
it
don't.
is truly a melting pot.
So first of all, if you don't if you don't hear that come out of somebody in another community's mouth, I'm not gonna say it no more. I refuse to say it. You want to know why? Because we were not doing it for them, we was doing it for us. And if you benefited from it and you don't appreciate it, kiss my black ass. That's how I feel. Am I wrong for it? Yes, but that's how I feel. Because we did these things. Our ancestors did these things for us and our children to live and be free.
Really quickly, man. Let me play devil's advocate. Okay. At what point, if I'm coming here from New Delhi, India, at what point have I ever had an opportunity to learn about African American history?
None of them do. And you know what? I'm not shitting on the being colonized from the continent of Africa to India to China. Being colonized is a motherfucker too now. But
Yeah.
my argument is do not come here because you get permission to shit on us. Don't come here with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was going to say it's not fair. I don't give a fuck whether it's not fair or not. It is stupid. It is stupid. Because guess what you do? You know, the Latin American countries and, you know, Caribbean, but, you know, all the different cultures, right? When they get in trouble, who do they come to? You know what I'm saying? They come to our community leaders every single time. But You don't see, and this is not. And see, I'm not on that Tariq Nasheed and his group shit. You know, I'm not on that, man. Because you know why? It don't make sense. I'm gonna take pride in my lineages from slavery. No, I'm taking pride because my family, this is our family's origin. Once it's all said and done, many generations have lived on this soil, right? And I'm not on that. Well, you know, you come in this country and you lower than me. No, my thing is not to get too caught up in it. Don't talk to me about me being lazy and me being this when you don't want to stay in your country and make the changes you should make to live the way you want to live over here. You understand what I'm saying? Don't criticize me when you're not doing it on your homeland. Yeah, I'm taking into consideration, you know, the different civil wars and the big corporations just raping these different countries in Africa and all over. I'm taking that in consideration. I get that. But why do you feel like some of you, because they all don't do it, why do you feel like some of you feel like you can come and shit on our community when you want to dress like us and you want the same things that we want, in which we cultivate? Now,
You know,
I'm not on the last point. I'm not on that. The same thing what Damon says, that we made this. No, we living, we surviving. We had to do it. We had to adapt. You feel me? We you know, our people weren't sitting around when it came to music, sitting around and hey man, let's entertain America with this, with the blues, with Dixieland. Let's entertain America. No, we found out we can make money from that shit. So that's what we did. But that was our own period. You feel me? That's all.
yeah, I was gonna say, man. You know, something you mentioned, man. You know, it triggered something that struck me funny. I heard the other day, man. I can't recall the podcast or the podcaster or whatever, but it was a Chinese guy on there, and he was saying that
Carson Armstrong.
all of the Chinese students who come over here and go to Harvard Medical School, Yale Medical School, Ivy League medical schools. He said those are the low educational performers in China, and they couldn't get into schools in China, so they had to save their money and come over here. So as far as you know, all of our doctors being Chinese, or you know, all of our tech guys being Indian or whatever. Uh, I'm thinking the narrative is that they're not the cream of the crop, you know, back home. So that's why they left. Now I'm not saying that you know that's the truth or that's even how I feel or whatever, but it's a conversation.
That's true. I get it. I get it. You know, we don't have to attack each other, and that seems like that's the only rhetoric that we seem to have is there's no mutual, like, look, like I was curious when I first went to college, is when I met a brother from Nigeria. Now you know this is '82. Met a brother from Nigeria. So when I went in college is when we was doing the spinning waves and shit, right? This brother came, looked just like somebody that I grew up with. Had the waves, you know, he had the preppy stuff on and all this. till I heard him speak. And he had the accent. I'm like, oh damn. And I asked him, so what country are you from? He told me Nigeria. And we hit it off. And I was so curious, I wanted to hear about it. You feel what I'm saying? I wanted to hear about his culture and all these things. And he told me the good and the bad of it. You know what I'm saying? And then he was curious about the propaganda that was fed to him. Even though he was on a college campus with Black Americans, right? He still was subject to the propaganda. You feel me? Because his family in Nigeria, they had money. That's why how he was able to come to Pitt. So when I spoke to him, he spoke to me from an elitist point of view because his family had money, right? And I used to cock my head and look at him when he'll say something, elitist. And I'll ask him, well, what you mean by that, bro? You know what I'm saying? Well, my family had this and this, that, and the other. I said, well, first of all, what that got to do with anything when it come to me?
Right.
I know your full name because you told me your full name. Your full name did not precede you. Like, hey, that's Jimmy such and such, from his dad got the concrete company. No, you're just a regular human being and you're talking to me. And I said, I'm not saying you're wrong for being this way. I'm saying to you is watch your mouth because you might offend people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, he didn't direct it towards me, but he's like, they like to use that word. I never liked the N-bomb when I was a kid. Never. I never let nobody call me that. Never this. But it was like a new toy for him. He was saying it, and the B word too. He was saying it while we was hanging out.
All right. Now we in business.
Now, when we was hanging out, right? And I had to pull him aside. Hey, bro, don't call me that. I said, have you heard me call you that? He said, no. I said, well, don't call me that, man. Because I've never allowed people to call me that in a prolonged sense before they became my enemy. So don't call me that. He said, well, I understand. So we got to that point where we was actually having a conversation because I know he looked down on me. Even because of the elite, not because he coming from the motherland and he got the culture. No, his family had fucking money. And his cousin was female. She was there. And she was the same way. But then I had friends with this kid. This kid had money, right? I had friends because he was from Nigeria look down on him because they thinking he grew up in some fucking huts or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what
I was gonna tell you, I would have told him, man, hey, look, we got lions and crocodiles and shit over here too, bro.
But
the world is the goddamn same. It don't matter where the fuck you came.
Here's the thing that bothers me, if I'm being honest. We got cats that come from Nigeria. I'm not disparaging none of them. We got cats that come here from Nigeria and they look at us a certain way, but they travel in their own country, don't like each other.
Yeah, that's what we were speaking on when you was going.
Right, and we expect them to like us. Fuck out of here, man. There's no reality to that. It's all garbage. You know what I'm saying? What they don't understand is that how to unite and overcome, how to become in solidarity. That's why you here.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But see,
you want to pass judgment on us. The only reason why you were able to come here and do what you do is because we fought and sacrificed for you.
No,
you have
Fluke. Don't say that. We fought for ourselves. We fought for
however you choose to parse it, man.
No,
the reality is the reality, bro. And that's what it is.
No. This is what I understand. Yes, they benefited, but the other minorities benefited from what we did, but we did that for us. Our ancestors did that for us, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
But that's why I was saying earlier, like,
Well, hey, bro, we can draw that conclusion, man, but we still have adversaries sitting out there demeaning our struggle, bro.
that's why. But I said it before. You want to know here? That's why I don't. Man, when it's all said and done, I don't care what you think. You sorry. That's it.
Here's the thing I wanted. Here's the one thing, and then I'm gonna leave it alone. Here's the one thing I want to say. Do you know how many of our athletes, man, and teachers who are in higher education institutions, whatever, reach down to all different stripes of people, no matter what the color, religion, or whatever it is, and establish ways for them to, have opportunities? I'm saying we actually done that. And that's the thing that I think that is most dismissed. I'm saying, don't dismiss our struggle. We've been there and done it. You don't be in a country for over 400 years. You know what I'm saying? We're not African Americans. We are Americans. You know what I'm saying? The only people who was here before us was the indigenous and the Anglo-Saxons. Other than that, we are the third Americans in this country. Everybody else came in here through a process or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We are established as that.
But see, that's the thing is, I agree with you totally. But I'm not gonna call myself. I'm a citizen of this country. But see, when you to me, when you start to vocalize it too much, it's like you're trying to prove yourself. Man, fuck, I ain't got to prove shit. That's how I feel. I don't have to prove shit. You know why? Because my mother and father and my grandparents and everyone sacrificed and they moved on for us. You know what I'm saying? I love it when somebody try to debate and try to minimize it. I'm with you with that. That's when I jump on that.
There's not even, but see, that's the thing. We are convinced that there's an argument, and it's not.
Yeah, I'm saying the same thing.
It's not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not speaking against you. I'm just saying we have this tendency to say, hey, man, I'm black, and I'm here in this country. Black, generations upon generations born here. If the Sicilians decide to take over, to go into Italy and establish a livelihood, right? And they've been there for 400 years. What are they? They are Italians. You feel what I'm saying? They are Italians. Now, if you wanna, stand on your culture and all that stuff, you should be able to do that. But in terms of how that country was formed, established, and doing how it's doing, be it great or whatever, you are a part of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You are dependent on to keep your part. So I don't get off and I'm gonna be a black man. I'm gonna stand on that because guess what? I'm gonna only be saw that way because of the color of my skin. That's the first thing that's going to be established. That's a black man. But behind that is American exceptionalism. We are a part of that. It's ingrained in history. You can't deny it. Now, because of your insecurities, Johnny come lately, you're going to try to jump the damn line. You can't do that.
He said the line.
You can't jump the line because guess what? You accomplished something because some racists said, hey man, you wasn't white when you first got here, but because we lose the numbers, we're going to establish you as white now. Now you're going to jump on the bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody.
You want to jump on the bullshit. But guess what? Your ass wouldn't even be able to come over here if we wasn't out there marching and doing what we did. You know what I'm saying? Are you man or woman enough to establish that? You know what I'm saying? Especially when you go back to the 60s. Dude, We was here 350 years before that. And the only reason why you're here is because we went through the trials and tribulations of it. And now all of a sudden, because they give you this status of whiteness, you think you have that whatever. But you wasn't able to do anything unless somebody made a sacrifice for you. It wasn't the Anglo-Saxons who did it. You know what I'm saying? Truth comes to power. You got to think about, okay, how did I establish this shit? You look at all the liquor stores in the damn hood. Those institutions in the hood caused you to get a damn degree. If you didn't have the money coming out of those situations, you wouldn't have been able to afford to go. How did that happen? There's a succession to that shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a succession. And then when black people finally get tired and say, you know what, I'm gonna sit this one out. Now it's chaos. Now it's chaos. Oh, people dying. Hell, we was dying. Nobody said shit. How many brothers do y'all know? If you was to get off into the nuances of how many brothers y'all know went to prison for no fucking reason? It's too many. It's not enough fingers to count it. But guess what? Here's the crazy part about it. When those brothers got an opportunity, when they got into their 30s and their mid-30s and they got out of prison, what did they do? They started businesses. They created, they created independent businesses and stuff like that. That is our legacy.
Yeah, but you know what, man? I think what we do too much, and it's just my opinion, is we lean too heavily on the incarcerated brothers as our identity, in which is not our identity. It's a small part of our personality because some people just make mistakes. Some people get railroaded, you know what I'm saying, and go to prison. But the majority of us stay out here, grind, we do the things we got to do, be who we got to be. You know what I'm saying?
That's a percentage of us, Keith, but a lot of guys got railroaded, man. To the point where they said black men are absentee fathers. Once all of that got recognized and Cat got clemency and got out of prison or whatever, right? If you look at it now, statistically, when we move out of the 90s, guess who support their kids more than anybody?
So hold on. How do the two, because you lost me for a second. How do absentee fathers relate to us talking about the prison thing?
Because a lot of brothers was locked up and couldn't take care of their kids.
So
not to mention the welfare establishment where they say, hey man, that man can't be here. There was a lot of things that were stacked against us, man.
Do me a favor. Yes, I believe that, right? But us, black people being on welfare and black men being locked up is a smaller percentage than the people who've never been on welfare, who've never been locked up. But nobody speaks about them. We only speak about this small part of it. It's an important part of it, right?
Cause and effect, bro. Cause and effect.
What do you mean?
The small, but here's the thing, Keith. The small aspect of our community that you're talking about, who was the small part of it, was weaponized against us, bro. So and we became the face of shit, which caused affected us in another way.
It does a lot of damage if it becomes the face of it.
Right.
Yes, I agree with you.
So in essence, you can't dismiss So in essence, you can't dismiss what actually happened.
No,
You can't.
I will dismiss it if I know the truth, but not enough people is what I'm saying to you. Not enough people are echoing the actual truth about what we live every day. Now, we could talk about how, we've been discriminated against and all these different things like that. We could talk about that because we got all that in common. But you're telling me that the majority of us black men are prison bound?
No, that's not the argument I was making.
That's
I'm
the
talking about
argument, that's the argument that's being portrayed, though, is what I'm saying to you. When we only speak about that, that's all I'm saying. I didn't.
Yeah,
But
if it was a tactic, it was effective, bro. And we have to deal with that reality, man.
That's a good point. But that's basically why I even say anything about it, because it's effective for no fucking reason. When you get up every day and you work with black people every single day, work hard.
But, bro, what you're saying is the absolute truth. But we don't control the narrative, man.
We do. First of all, now the narrative is being thrown out there, right? So, all right, let me put it like this. You are exactly right. We don't control what's being thrown in our face. That's good. Everybody. What's been pumped in the immigrants' ears about our community. That's true. Not disagreeing with you there. But if I were to say Jaquari Armstrong is lazy on the job, and I told his supervisor to watch him, and it'll prove that he's lazy, right? Now, who's in control of Jaquari's narrative? Especially if he's a hard-working, industrious man.
What do you mean by that? I mean, you say he in control of his shit?
Yeah.
No, he's not. How many brothers lost jobs, man, just because they didn't look the part? Didn't get an opportunity. Didn't even get the call back.
Stay with me, brother.
Because of stereotypical shit.
No. Stay with my example. Because I gave you examples. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Listen to what I'm saying to you.
I'm listening to you, bro.
Who's in control of Jaquari's narrative? Now, people are going to think what they want to think. But Jaquari is a hard worker. I threw that in there. Jaquari is a hard working person that goes above and beyond. He don't know he's being watched. But his supervisors are looking at him because somebody tried to create a narrative about him.
Right. I'm following you, man. I got you.
Okay. Now, put it on a bigger scale of what I'm talking about. The narrative that's been thrown out there that you and I agree upon, I believe the three of us agree upon what's being said about our community, right? It's out there, and people unfortunately believe that shit. But the majority of us, the vast majority of us,
I'm following you,
don't get locked up. Are home with their children. Are good people, period. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that totally. But how many of us get passed over working 35 years on the job trying to get that damn that promotion?
And I'm with that. I get that. I just wanted to you to see where I was coming from when I was saying that. That's all.
I'm following you. I'm following you in that regard. I'm just saying we can do my point is this, bro, just to follow with your narrative. We can do that all day long. People can spend a lifetime being that and get passed over. Supporting somebody who just fresh out of college. Hey, man, I want you to train this person to take the job that you're supposed to have. How often has that happened, bro?
It's happened a lot.
That's what it is.
It's happened a lot, but see, that's nepotism, that's assholery, that is wrong.
Right, we can agree on that.
It happens.
We can agree on that. But one thing we can't do is sit back and act like that's not a thing that not recognize because it
No,
affects us as a whole. It does.
we recognize it every day. I mean, because
Right.
we can do it. We can spin it off to a man and woman. We can spin it off verbatim for what you just said. I get that. I that was not my issue.
And what excuse do they use? You know what? I'm not going to put you in the position of authority over these people because you have a tendency to be overly aggressive. Ask any black woman if that has not been their experience.
I,
Even though they're keeping the program afloat by doing the functionalities of the program, but because somebody has this opinion about them based on racism, based on whatever. Hey man, we can't put you there because you a little aggressive because you spoke up about yourself. That happens, bro, in real time.
Not a debate.
It's not about going back and saying, hey man, I did this thing. I told the line, I am that person, so I should be next in line because this is how we are. This is how we conduct ourselves. That's not what happens in the real world. What happens in the real world is, hey man, because I think this way about you, because I have this idea about who I think you are as a person, because I think that you know what, black women, y'all have a tendency to be over aggressive and y'all don't know how to talk. So I can't put you in the position of power because A, B, and C. That's the real world, bro.
Okay.
That's what happens. It has nothing to do with because we are the standard bearers of everybody who we've always been.
All right, finish your point. Then we're gonna move on to this next.
It doesn't. We don't get that recognition. That's why they established DI and all that shit. That's the reason why. You know what I'm saying? All they got to do is say, hey man, you know what? She has a tendency. I've worked with her. Yeah, she trained me and all that stuff, but I worked with her, and she has a tendency to be angry. You telling me black women haven't lost jobs based on that false analogy?
Every black American.
I don't think there's an argument there, man.
It's not.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
not. So
what's the answer?
I don't know, man.
Something on your own, for real. You know, on here is sort of something pretty quick. And this is my opinion. I want you to get your opinion on this one. It's a narrative that the bigger the struggle for black men and women, black men, is a greater story to us if he becomes great in life, business, sports, entertainment. The bigger the struggle as a kid, all right, let's just say sports and entertainment. Will this light in the entertainment world, if you find out that he has single parent, either single parent dad, single parent mom, grandparents raised them, they were poor, does that add light to his shine when he does something spectacular on the basketball court or the football field? Your opinion about it. And folks in the comments, if you have an opinion, please put it in the comments, and so we could put it on the screen.
Yeah, everybody likes a feel good story, man. I mean, rags to riches has been the plot line to very good stories for since time began. I mean, shit. Mm-hmm. And plus, I mean, people put themselves, mentally in those spaces. Okay. You start to ask yourself, could I have done that? Or why didn't I do that? I've had every common advantage, on paper that I could possibly have. So what was it about me that stopped me short? And what was it about him that pushed him forward? You know, poverty, and fucking not having nothing, no daddy, you know, and living in a fucked up space, man, could be a great motivator.
Okay. Okay. So, do you think it adds to? For some people, it is a motivator, right?
Mhm.
But do you think it adds to their ability or their drive?
I mean, yeah, I do. I mean, you know, if you pushing forward to a goal, and if you get pushed back even one step, you ain't got nowhere to go. Then yeah, like I said,
Okay.
you know, shit, an empty stomach is a hell of a motivator.
That's a scary scenario, bro. Because for me, it's not about whether or not I can run a football or dribble a basket. It's not about that. It's about me being recognized as a person who has something to contribute. You know what I'm saying? Isn't it incumbent upon the society at large, man, to recognize that this person, whether or not they can dribble a basketball or football, has something to contribute based on their personal talents?
All right, Damon. Now, hold on, hold on. I gave the scenario because it's easier. Sports. Stick to sports. I'm saying, is it a greater shine if this person does something in the sports arena that people admire? Because of, if you learn of his struggle as a child and teenager, does that put more shine on what he accomplished?
Of
Or he,
course it does.
why?
Yes, because either you're going to be a somebody who's entertaining or somebody who's you deem worthless. You know what I'm saying? It's all dependent upon what it is that you getting. Hey man, I think this person has potential because this person can dribble a damn basketball. What if they don't dribble a basketball? What if sports is not their forte?
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Do you still recognize that person?
Hold on, hold on, hold on. Because you refuse to stick with the scenario. So I'm going to change the scenario so you can do exactly what you need to do. Answer it the way you want to answer it. Damon, an intellectual, a a a scientist, teacher, mathematician, grows up under the same circumstances and gains, invents something to change mankind, right? Nobel Peace Prize, Pulitzer Prize, everything that brings in worldwide recognition. Is it, is their childhood and teenage years, if they went through hardship, does it bring more luster over what they accomplished when they got those awards?
Yeah, because everybody, if you went through trials and tribulations, people have a tendency, especially if they had the same experience, they have a tendency to respect it, bro.
Okay,
They have a tendency to respect it. Oh man, this guy overcame something I didn't,
okay. Go ahead.
or this guy or gal overcame something that I was too afraid to venture into.
I like that. Y'all both gave great answers. Carson, I mean,
This
Corey, you got a puzzle look. What's the deal?
this question, man, for some reason, this question to me brings to mind Ben Carson, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Ben Carson is the greatest example of this question that I could think of, man. But you know, brilliant guy,
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant guy.
Overcame a lot too.
Overcame, adversity up the ass when he was a kid, man. But you know, he you know, he, did he fuck up his did he fuck up his legacy?
With me, yeah.
He
But
can still save your life.
he could save my life. He saved my life. But I keep my personal opinions to myself though. You know? Because you know what it does? Honestly, and I'm saying that from me, when I look at myself, every once in a while I can say some great shit. I'm talking about every blue moon. I'll say some real deep shit, right? But in the meantime, in between time, I'll be stumbling through life. I'll say some stuff that'll offend somebody. I'll say some stuff that make me look like a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? I trip through life sometimes. But also the thing that I say may be a great thing for somebody else if they just happen to come up on it. All right. We'll address the last question today with Lawrence. He said, what if it wasn't their time to overcome it? Some people don't always reach their peak early in life. So does that not make them successful?
Well, I mean, you shit. You achieve your super Saiyan when you achieve it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's nice to be successful while you're young, but oftentimes, man, that's the beginning of the formula of fucking up. Having access to anything you want, you know, at a young age. And now part of that statement is jealousy, but the majority of it is practicality. If you give a young person a large amount of money and opportunity and resources, more than likely they will fuck it up. But if they're young enough, there's an expectation for them to fuck it up. So you peak when you peak, but I've never heard it said that you only peak once. A lot, and shit,
Yeah, that's a hell of a point right there. Because we always assume that we only get one chance.
I only got one shot at this. No,
Yeah.
man.
No,
You need to broaden your thinking, brother. For
the
real.
way you think, you're gonna always have several opportunities. It may not be along the lines that you wanted at the time, but it still comes though.
Yeah. It ain't never been trap or die. It's trap and move the fuck on. That's what it is.
The biggest thing, man, that a person can struggle with is dealing with something that's outside their venue, outside their self. Be it good or bad, I don't give a shit how much success you have or whatever. If you go through a trial and tribulations, that's wisdom, bro. If you're able to bounce back from it, that's wisdom. You might not even come to the same conclusion you did when you were successful. That might not even be important to you. You know what I'm saying? I could have been a great basketball player or whatever, but I went through my trials, tribulations, and struggles and came to a conclusion that it wasn't about basketball. And all those people who supported me in that aspect was not really my friend. You know what I'm saying? It had absolutely nothing to do with my purpose. My purpose was to be this person. And I had to go through trials and tribulations for me to recognize that I'm supposed to be this person. So that's what I was struggling with. You can give me all types of scenarios about, man, success, this and that, and you can give me that all day. At the end of the day, it's the thing, man, that you are most comfortable with when it has to do with who you are as an individual. You know what I'm saying? I never stood on my athletic prowess. I've never stood on that, even though I could have took full advantage of it. I just did not have the desire to do so. You know what I'm saying? Physically, I could play with the best. I had that, but that was nothing that I chose to practice or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There was nothing that inspired me to do so. I was simply that guy said, you know what? I want to be somebody outside of everybody's expectations, but my own. I want to be a good father. I want to raise good kids. You know what I'm saying? I want to be that. That was most important to me. Has absolutely nothing to do with athletics or anybody's expectation. Me being in the fray and being there for my child when they're struggling. Because guess what? Through life, you understand your personal struggles ain't got nothing to do with sports, ain't got nothing to do with none of that. You understand when you felt like an outsider, when you felt like you had no connection with another person. You had to go through the maturation process to say, you know what? Now, because I've learned from this, I don't have to be alone anymore. Now that I learned from this, I can tell my son or daughter how to avoid the traps and all that stuff that has everything to do with the world telling them that they are not. And if you believe in God, you believe you have a purpose. That should be your ultimate goal. I was put here for a reason. I'm not just a body here. I'm not a worker bee. I'm somebody who matters. How I feel, how I think, how I express, and all that stuff matters to somebody. And that's my legacy. Not because I could dribble a damn basketball and made money doing it. It's simply saying, man, you know what? I could teach this human being how to be human without shitting on somebody else. Because I got shit on and I know how that shit feels. But I can function through the world just being my damn self and being as good and as best I could possibly be and hope that that translates in the world, especially when it comes to your children. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason, I can't get around that aspect of it. I don't give a shit how good I was at basketball and what I achieved and you know what I'm saying? I went through my college career playing basketball, not knowing. It took people who spent time with me saying, man, damn, you was actually that good, man. It took them to convince me that I was actually that good. If I was about that, I would have been about that. I was about making sure whoever I birth realize that they matter, that they have a purpose.
Okay. All right. Before we get well said, man. Well said. Before we get off here, I want to just bring light to what Lawrence said in his comments. He said, I just want to be happy and not feel like the world is constantly collapsing around me. You know, I think because what you said is kind of how the world is. It's always changing. There's always something, even if when we see somebody that looks like they're doing better than you or they are doing better than you in a certain sense, they're going through something too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you shouldn't feel this way. I'm not, and really and truly, you know I love you. I pray, I'm going to put a prayer in for you if it feels that way. But when I feel the world is collapsing around me, then I look into myself, I pray, because I know you're a spiritual man. I pray, and I start to see the little things that I can solve until I can solve the big.
Yeah, it ain't no shame in survival, because and the triumphs of struggle are few and goddamn far and in between. Live your life, bro.
Live your life, man,
Live your life.
and know that you're doing the right thing, because you are.
Here's what I would say to that. If the world paying you some attention, cuz it's because you got something to offer the damn world, bro. You know what I'm saying? If they thought you was useless, you would not be getting the attention, be it positive or negative, that you're getting. You mean something. You are worth paying attention to. Who you are matters, and you just have to figure out how to delegate yourself to the world, because there's a purpose behind it. You know what I'm saying? And the real evil in the world is just telling you that you are not who you're supposed to be, that you don't matter, that we can question who you are. No, when it comes to God and your purpose, you're supposed to stand on who you are. Not in a malicious way, not in an argumentative way, but being comfortable within yourself and saying, you know what? I'm not going to worry about all that. I'm just going to be me. And guess what? The people who might benefit it most, you might not ever meet in your life. But trust me, when you standing on who you are, it's going to be somebody going to say, man, I like how this brother moves. And I'm going to raise a kid who's going to make a difference in the world because I understood where this brother was coming from. That's how the world works, man. Because when you at your level best, say playing sports, and you doing your thing, look at LeBron James. How many detractors do he have? And he did everything right. You know what I'm saying? But you know what's missing in his struggle? The father he is. How many people got to play on the same team in the NBA other than him? You know what I'm saying? That's a milestone. That has never happened before. But people want to sit back and critique whether he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT because he played with his son.
That's definitely a great way of looking at it.
Miss me with all that other shit. He set the stage. He said it. He spoke the words out loud. I'm going to play with my son. And that was 10 years before his son graduated. And he playing at 41 years old. That's longevity. That man stuck to his guns. He did what he said he was going to do, and he's reaping the benefits of it. Now, you can talk about whether or not his son should be there, but guess what? His son is there.
And it's entertainment. That's what it is.
That's what you know what I'm saying? That's what you focus on. Hey, man, I'm going to be who I am. Everybody ain't going to like it. But guess what? If I'm successful, everybody going to follow the blueprint. And they're not going to support me in it. But later on down the line, when history, says what it says, they're going to be asking me, well, how did you do this? You know what I'm saying? Then you're faced with, well, do I talk to this reporter because he was my biggest nemesis? He said the most bullshit about me. That's when you become humble. And that's when you say, hey, man, this is how I did it. This is how it happened. That young man, no matter how much you feel he don't deserve that, guess what he has? He has a contract with the Los Angeles Lakers.
All right, man. Hey, look, Jaquari, Damon, your last 2-3 responses was beautiful. Got chills. You want to know why? Because it came from your hearts. I appreciate y'all. That's why I enjoy coming on here. Lawrence, love you, baby. I hope, cuz you're like a little brother too. Hope.
Oh, that's our little brother, man. For real.
I hope whatever one
grown ass man.
Whatever the one of the three of us said to you, give you the support that you need, and you keep standing 10 toes like you're standing.
Hey, Keith.
Let me finish this. Keith Barnes, William Scarborough. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. all love. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Danny. What you gonna say?
Hey, hey, Cub talking about Lawrence. Cub, you standing, you're just standing out here with a 44-inch vertical at 5'6". Who else could do that?
No. Hold on, man. He about 5'9". Why are you taking his height from him, man?
All right, 5'9", 5'6" hamburger cheeseburger, man.
No, it ain't no hamburger cheese.
He got a 40-inch. He got a 4-inch vertical, and he can bench press 450 pounds.
Oh, you're about 6'1", ain't you?
Lawrence is about 6 years.
Yeah. What the hell?
Okay, I made the mistake. I was trying to illustrate a point.
When he was 15.
I was trying to illustrate a point. He has never been small.
No, I get that.
He has never had to make an excuse for who he is. He overcame a whole lot of shit.
I'm just joking with you, brother, because look, but yo, don't take no inches away. I'm 6'9".
Hey, Key, I watched him dunk one time.
Yeah.
And when I watched him dunk, the first thing I did was this. You know what I'm saying? I had to put my arm up and say, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You special guy, man. Don't let the world tell you that you're not running the 4.2. Are you crazy in the 40?
I think Lawrence don't want to be mad that people be disappointed at people. I think that's where it's at. I don't think this has nothing to do with sadness. You know what I mean? Because he's a serious guy, period.
Everybody ain't got them skills, man. And then you're working with youth too. Dude,
Yes,
it takes skill to be that kind of guy you are, man.
Yeah. All right.
You dictate.
Not
the world.
Last words, Damon, is on you.
My last word, man, I was spending time with my grandbaby, man. She was sick. She got some type of virus. And she came to me and she laid on me for 8 hours, bro. I couldn't even get up. I had to do the human functions and all that stuff. And I had to maneuver and all that stuff. My point is, man, I appreciate the fact that she felt safe with me.
Oh, that's real.
That's you know what I'm saying? I felt at 60 years old, I said, man, my job never ends, bro. My job never ends. I'm responsible for this 4-year-old. I got to make sure that she get everything that I gave her mother and aunt and uncle. You know what I'm saying? We have to be responsible, man, for our awards, bro. We can't make any damn excuses because life happens. They don't feel good some day. Some day they have struggles. Some day they're insecure. I raised 3 kids. I know how to do that shit. So I'm going to be that.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be that. And it's proven to be successful.
No doubt.
So I don't have to struggle. I just have to be my damn self, bro.
Jaquari Armstrong, last words.
Fellas, I thoroughly enjoyed this evening's conversation, and I look forward to the next. Y'all be safe.
Last word of the day. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. Please, if you haven't subscribed to us, go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. Check us out. Check out our videos. Share with somebody. Listen. Some of you are more popular podcasts, and you see, and you happen to be watching us. Go clip us, man. Clip us, and put us on your platform. You know what I'm saying? Because we say some. I have to say it. We say some great, profound shit here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm standing on it. I know my brothers stand on it too.
Yeah.
Please go like, share, and subscribe.
Hey, yo, look here. The Piccolo play. The Piccolo player is a mother. Damn, the Piccolo player is a motherfucker. How about it?
The Piccolo. You going to explain it before we go?
No. The Piccolo plays a motherfucker.
There it is.
Hey, that's just like a melodrama being played backwards, bro.
Yeah,
That's
just
it.
say the
That's it.
goddamn thing I want to say.
Yes, sir. What'd you say, Jaquari? Hold the duck down
Yeah.
and let me take care of my business.
Just hold it down. I got it.
All right, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. We'll be back with you next Friday with some gems to be gems. Thanks for tuning in, folks, on YouTube, on Facebook. Thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. 3 years going strong, going on 4 real easy. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Stay warm.